Hey everyone! Before I start, please like this video and listen to my story till the end, and let me know which city you're listening from. That way I can see how far my story has traveled. Now buckle up because this one's a wild ride. The smell of a small-town credit union lobby is unforgettable. It's like despair brewed with stale coffee, a hint of floor polish, and the metallic tang of other people's anxiety. For years, I inhaled it every day. To the customers, I was Evelyn, the polite teller with cardigans and glasses on a chain, the one who never blinked at Mrs. Higgins bringing in jars of pennies that smelled like wet cat food. To corporate, I was just employee number 4920, replaceable, forgettable, another cog in the machine. But here's the twist nobody knew. I owned the building. The entire floor, the lobby, the vault, mine. My father, a paranoid ex-military man with a knack for real estate and a deep distrust of the IRS, left me not just an inheritance, but the perfect setup for revenge. My routine at the bank was predictable, if boring, until Derek showed up. 3 months ago, this man burst in like a storm. He was flashy, obnoxious, and had the kind of Florida energy that makes you want to hide under your desk. Imagine a guy who read Wall Street and decided the loud yelling and flashy suits were the whole point. He leaned over my counter on his first day, called me Evie, wrong name, wrong attitude, and rattled on about synergy and disruption like it was some magical spell. Smiled. That tight customer service smile that says, "I'm plotting your downfall in Excel." 'Cause I was. I watched him alienate the new tellers, cut corners on every rule imaginable, and basically treat my building like it was his personal playground. Kept quiet. I watched. Plotted. Then came the first big red flag. Derek wanted to knock down a wall in the break room. No permits, unlicensed contractors, weekend project chaos. My heart did that little salsa dance. That's violation number 1 right there. I calmly told my leasing agent to shut it down and remind Derek that any changes without proper approval were a massive no-go. And oh, the look on his face when he realized Evie wasn't just a teller. Oh, it was priceless. Have you ever had a boss who thought they could push you around because they had the title? Drop a comment about your worst boss. Trust me, you're not alone and it gets better. But this was just the beginning. Every minor irritation, every skipped protocol, every smug "I'm in charge" moment Derek threw at me. Cataloged. My little black binder started growing, and so did my patience. Cold, precise, and ready for a storm. Stay tuned, because in the next part, Derek's little empire starts to crack, and you'll see exactly how messy the fallout gets. So Derek's high-energy management style continued. And oh, it was high energy all right, like a tornado with a terrible haircut. He paced, he barked orders, he clapped behind my ear like it was a drumline. The line of customers groaned under his chaos, and I smiled. Inside, my mind was cold, precise. Outside, I was Evelyn, the polite teller, the invisible wall. Then came Tiffany. Ah, Tiffany, the golden child in his eyes, the perfect little storm of inexperience and entitlement. She strutted in on a Monday, gum snapping like she owed it money, dressed like the glitter factory had exploded. Derek's cousin, niece, maybe even his secret ATM. Whatever she was, she didn't know a debit from a credit. And my hours. Benefits gone. Just like that. I marched into his office, calm as a glacier. "Derek, we need to talk about the schedule," I said, my voice steady. He barely looked up, tinkering with his Newton's cradle like it held the secrets of the universe. "Optimization," he muttered. My blood turned to liquid fire. He gave my hours to Tiffany, the girl who couldn't even count 4 ones correctly. "You'll train her," he sneered. "Consider it mentorship. Be a team player, Evie." Oh, I would be a team player, but not the way he imagined. I returned to my counter, sweet as sugar, showing Tiffany how to file canceled checks, while she groaned at paper like it was medieval torture. I didn't just correct her mistakes. I documented every single breach of protocol, every fire hazard, every corner cut. My little black binder grew fatter by the day, filled with the ammunition I would need. The HVAC started acting up, thumping and wheezing like it was dying, and Derek, of course, panicked. "Call the maintenance guy," he barked. I didn't. Instead, I called Marcus, my property agent, and whispered, "We need a full inspection. I want documentation for every violation. Every single one." Have you ever felt invisible at work, like nobody sees your effort, your value? Comment below with "I've been there," because trust me, you're not alone. By Friday, the lobby was chaos incarnate. Social security checks, pensions, cranky customers, AC blowing lukewarm misery over everyone. And Derek was freaking out. But I was ready. My team. My invisible army. Just me. And the binder, the lease, and every little detail Derek ignored. I was about to turn his little kingdom upside down. And oh, it would be glorious. Stay tuned, because part 3 is where Derek's arrogance meets its first real consequences. And the storm I've been building will hit. Friday arrived like a freight train. The lobby was packed. Lines snaking out the door. Heat thick enough to cut with a knife, and Derek was a mess. Sweating through his cheap suits, barking like a drill sergeant with a caffeine overdose. Customers grumbled, kids screamed, and Tiffany, she was MIA, calling in hungover. And there I was. Evelyn. Invisible no more. "Faster!" Derek shouted, clapping behind me. I ignored him. I had Mr. Henderson at my window, meticulously counting his bills by serial number year. "You don't rush, Mr. Henderson." Derek huffed, fumed, and practically blew his top. "Why is this taking so long?" "Accuracy matters," I said, serene as a glacier. "Speed is relative." The line grew impatient. A mother with 3 screaming kids pressed forward. Sweat trickled down my back. My blood sugar plummeted. "Lunch at 1, Derek," I said casually. He turned horrified. "Lunch? Are you joking?" "Yes, I'm joking," I said, smiling sweetly, like a calm sea hiding a tidal wave. My eyes flicked to my tote bag where my black binder lay. Every violation, every ignored protocol, every disaster waiting to explode. And then, the moment arrived. I stepped away from my window, phone in hand. Marcus was on the line. "Do it," I whispered. "Send the notice. Emergency suspension. All violations documented. Locks changed. Power cut. Everyone out." The look on Derek's face. Priceless. Confusion, fear, disbelief. He was the king of chaos, and suddenly the chaos was coming for him. Ever had the perfect moment to stand up for yourself, and your heart just races thinking, "Is this it?" Drop a comment if you've ever felt that adrenaline spike before taking control. Outside, a van pulled up. Locksmiths, inspector, my silent enforcers. I walked into the middle of the lobby. "Derek, get back to your chair," I said, calm as ice. "No. This is my building. Everyone clear the lobby. Emergency maintenance." He lunged toward me. Junior, 6 feet 4 inches of pure muscle, stepped between us. Derek froze. His face purple, panic written in every line. The police were on their way. The inspector was measuring drywall moisture. And my black binder. The silent witness to every misstep Derek had made. And just like that, the first domino fell. Stay tuned for part 4, where Derek realizes the full weight of his mistakes, and my master plan, comes alive. Trust me, it's about to get messy. The lobby had gone silent. Derek stood there, clutching his Newton's cradle like it was a lifeline, while I calmly held the thick white envelope, the notice of emergency suspension. Every eye in the room was on us, the heat of anticipation making the air almost unbearable. You can't do this," he stammered, panic cracking his voice. "Oh, I can," I said, my voice crisp and cold but somehow still calm. Clause 14. Emergency suspension. Imminent safety hazard. Electrical issues. Fire risk. Blocked exits. Mold. Water damage. Everything you ignored for weeks. Documented. All of it. His jaw dropped. Sweat streamed down his face. The arrogance was gone. He looked like a child caught in the act, a boy pretending to be king of the hill, now realizing the hill was mine. The locksmith and inspector moved in. Junior taking up the doorway. Derek's protests were shrill, desperate, and ridiculous. "Call the police. This is illegal." "Already done," I said, motioning to the arriving officers. Derek's eyes went wide. Fear replaced his usual cocky grin. The inspector tapped the moisture meter against the wall near the server room. "Critical hazard," he called out. Derek went pale. Customers watched in confused awe. Some whispered, others just stared. No one shouted. Everyone felt the weight of what was happening. Derek had been running this branch like a tornado, and now the tornado was gone. I handed him the envelope. "Read it." His hand shook so violently the paper rattled. He scanned the violations. Blocked fire exit, bypassed HVAC safety switch, water near electrical panels, unauthorized remodeling. His face went from disbelief to horror in seconds. "This, occupancy suspended indefinitely, until repairs are made and inspected," he whispered like it physically hurt him to read it. "Yes," I said, serene. "And given the extent of your negligence, repairs will take as long as necessary. You will vacate immediately." Junior cut power to non-essential systems. Fluorescent lights flickered and died. Computers went silent. The lobby plunged into the dim gray light filtering through the windows. Derek looked around, utterly defeated. Ever seen someone who thought they were untouchable get hit with reality? Comment reality check if you've had that moment in your life. It's intense, trust me. Police escorted him out. The crowd outside who'd been watching started booing him. Not me him. And oh, did it feel good. I taped a "closed for emergency renovations" sign on the glass. My building was safe again. I turned to Sarah, one of my tellers, trembling but relieved. "Are you okay?" "Yes." She exhaled, a laugh escaping her lips. "That was terrifying, but amazing. You really just shut down the bank." Smiled. "Renovating," I corrected. And at that moment, I knew something had shifted. I wasn't invisible anymore. Not to Derek. Not to anyone. I had taken control. Stay tuned for part 5, where the aftermath unfolds, my freedom fund turns into more than just money, and the final lessons are learned. You don't want to miss this. The dust had barely settled when the reality hit Derek. He wasn't in charge anymore. Not a flicker of arrogance remained. Police, inspectors, Junior, and my meticulously documented binder had rewritten the rules of the game. And me, Evelyn, the invisible teller, had become Evelyn, the unstoppable landlord. The branch stayed closed while repairs began. Mold-ridden walls, water-damaged ceilings, broken HVAC, all replaced, all fixed. The lobby smelled like fresh paint and sawdust instead of fear and sweat. And for the first time in years I felt free. Free from the routine that had kept me small, free from the people who thought they could push me around, free from the fear of being invisible. Sarah came back as assistant manager, her eyes bright and full of respect. Tiffany. Derek. Selling solar panels somewhere far away, desperately trying to claw back any semblance of dignity. The bank caved. The lease was renegotiated. Triple net, modern rates, and a veto clause for any future construction. My rental income tripled overnight. And the best part, I had my team, my rules, my building. I even bought a boat. I don't sail, but I sit on it, sipping wine, laughing quietly at the chaos I survived. And you know what hit me the hardest? For 8 years, I counted other people's money while letting them discount my worth. I let a man in a polyester suit treat me like furniture because I thought it was safer to be the wall than the sledgehammer. I was wrong. Being the sledgehammer is way more fun. I kept one souvenir from the chaos. A little Newton's cradle Derek had prized. I found it in the trash. Now it sits on my desk at home. A reminder that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Push me and I push back. Cut my hours. Cut your power. Break the rules. I break the system. Physics, baby, it's beautiful. Tell me in the comments. And if you've dealt with something similar, share your story. You're not alone. Subscribe for more stories about standing your ground and reclaiming your life. So here's to the invisible women. The tellers, the assistants, the ones people walk past without seeing. We see. We remember. And sometimes, we own the building. And with that I raise my glass, chuckle at Danny DeVito memes, and toast to freedom, victory, and finally being unstoppable.